Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films, back again with the Sarah Jane Adventures. Last time on the Sarah Jane Adventures, we had Secret of the Stars, where this pretty normal guy who believed in astrology, Martin Truman, was kind of possessed by the ancient lights from before the universe, and was going to take over the entire universe by possessing everyone else. And luckily, we were able to stop him and break everyone's connection to the ancient lights through Luke because he didn't have any star sign, therefore he could not be controlled. Interesting episode, definitely an interesting episode, and yeah. With that being said, this is where I say no spoilers in the comments whatsoever. Let's stick to this episode and previous episodes of the Sarah Jane Adventures, Torchwood, Doctor Who, and Doctor Who Classic that I've reacted to. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into this episode of the Sarah Jane Adventures. Here we go.
I've had enough. Don't push me. What are you gonna do, freak?
Right, that's it.
Shut up. Shut up.
Oh God. Uh-oh. He lost his voice. Oh good, Ronnie can see this.
Stop it. Stop.
We can get into the plot immediately, basically.
Just be quiet.
Going into his veins. He's getting a little out of control. Yeah, alright. We're just going straight into this one. Oh crap, now he's getting out of there and she's gonna take it.
Hello?
Oh, please just take it to Sarah Jane.
Hamster.
Why do you have a hamster in your pocket?
Wow, this is brilliant.
That's brilliant.
I'm telling you, this
Oh.
is
It's brilliant.
Oh, Ronnie, don't get drunk with power. Just go tell Sarah Jane.
brilliant. Mr. Smith, I need you.
Sorry, I'm not available right now. Sarah Jane has shut me down whilst she's away.
What?
If you'd like to leave a message, we'll get back to you when she returns.
Oh crap, Ronnie's alone.
Look after this.
Okay, that's at least a good idea.
I wish I could draw. Yeah? Or maybe I'll teach
You can't? Amalgamation of 10,000 people can't draw?
What?
Hello, son.
Oh.
Dad?
This episode is going places.
Yeah, alright, I'm sorry, mate.
You're sorry. Dad, 1 minute you were there, and the next, I had no dad.
We're getting a lot of backstory on Clyde this episode.
I'm
Wow.
putting my hands up. I've not been the best father in the world.
Understatement. Go
But
on.
that's why I'm here.
Hi, Ronnie. You and Clyde meet me at the school now.
Oh, thank God. At least they're...
Gone out with his dad.
At least she's getting some help.
Okay, we haven't got time for this now. I want you in the school field in 10 minutes, right?
Right.
Alright, so this is not exactly a Ronnie alone. This is a no Sarah Jane episode. Very interesting.
Your dad's not around either, is he? No. It's complicated.
Yeah.
It usually is.
Man, everyone in this show is from just a broken
If he ever
house.
turns up, you know.
Except
blue,
Ronnie.
whatever.
But for broken houses, the parents that are there are good people.
What else do you do?
Well, there is something.
Don't. You
There's this thing I
can't.
do that I haven't really told anyone about, but yeah, I can't really say what it is.
You can't talk to him about
You
aliens.
rebel like your old man.
I saved the world.
I bet Sarah
Oh,
Jane would
boy.
like this.
What are you looking for?
Jacob West.
Sarah Jane's gonna be pissed when she comes back and sees all this crap going on.
Some of this stuff. It's alien. Do you get what that means?
Alien? Yeah, right. You mean like those, Dalek things?
Yes!
Yeah, but they're
Oh,
not-
a reference!
Some of them are pretty cool. Watering the plants. Yeah, Sarah Jane asked me to water the plants when she was away.
That's interesting because apparently she asked Ronnie to do that as well.
There's lots of plants.
She's got a lot of
sure you
plants.
think you're being
It
funny.
happens.
This is serious. Oh, come on, mate. It's not that serious. Just drop it, eh?
Uh-oh. He has power.
Yeah, I'm coming, Dad.
Good. Oh, and Clyde. Forget about those two.
See? He's got it.
Yeah. Dang it.
Forget about them completely.
Ah.
Sorry, do I know you? What?
Oh.
Clyde, how do you know my name?
It's me.
Luke.
Son of a
No,
bitch.
sorry, mate. Never seen you before in my life. Come on, Dad. Clyde!
Forget it. Clyde's gone.
Son of a bitch. Oh god, I hope this guy gets kicked in his fucking nuts. Oh, I hate that guy. I hate this guy more than the last villain we had. What is with this show and it's like really hateable villains? We had the clown, we had Truman, now we have this guy. Oh my gosh. Ugh, alright. Let's move on. I slightly like that kid is not actually the villain, and instead, it does add a lot more that it's Paul. This guy looks like Jimmy Olsen, by the way.
No, it doesn't matter. Just call her.
There she is. What is she doing anyway? Something about a hospital.
Travis, hold on.
Good. No cell phones. Uh-oh.
No answer.
What is it, Dad?
Computer is beeping.
Oh,
Talk to you. Stop it beeping.
they're calling Maria.
Luke!
Tell him what time it is here.
Shut up. Gave my dad some water, but he won't stop.
He's still doing it? This son of a bitch didn't tell him to stop. He's doing it forever. It's like Kilgrave, basically. Which is weird, because that's also David Tennant.
It's what happens to you when you use the pendant.
Oh no. Friggin'... They need to call Jack. Oh, wait. Never mind, I guess that won't work. Can they call Gwen? That might work.
They were changing it to something people at the time couldn't recognize. If Clyde's dad is using the pendant, he's turning into one of the Berserkers.
Huh.
Luke, Clyde's in real danger.
Okay,
It's like in freaking Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but that was a staff.
we'll find them. Got him.
So does Unit not notice when they've been hacked?
Right. Just forget about her, okay?
Jesus.
Forget about your mum.
You fucking kidding me with this?
I'll forget about Mum.
This better end with him relinquishing all control.
Luke's got it switched on. Can you get it to work?
Who are you talking to?
Oh, just one of Luke's geeky mates.
Geeky, cheers for that, Rani.
What are you doing to my son?
To promise you'll talk to Sarah Jane as soon as possible, yeah?
Yeah,
Yes.
promise.
We are definitely talking to Sarah Jane.
You know, you're putting yourselves in danger.
I know. And we'll promise we'll be careful. We'll call you later.
Okay.
And that's it. We just sit here and wait.
What else can we do?
They're in DC. You're stuck there.
I've got an idea. Get typing, Dad.
The marina? He wants to take him away. He wants to take my baby. I don't think so.
Yeah. Go kick his ass. He's gone.
Monster. He's not a monster. Please,
Can you get the pendant away from him?
Oh, I don't think so.
Oh shit. Oh my gosh, Sarah's gonna kick his ass.
I don't understand what's happening. These Most people reckon I should know them, but
Sarah Jane is the only person he recognizes.
they are.
Now we're going to put your dad right before it's too late.
Oh, did Maria and Alan call Sarah Jane?
Remember the park in Hounslow where you used to take me? Just think back to that.
Alright. Find the
Be careful.
man in there.
That's it. You're human, just like the rest of us.
Good. Oh! Yeah, he probably needs a rest for a while. How did that work? He would have waterboarded himself.
You don't need me.
You're right. Don't need you.
Yeah. In fact,
Mom.
fuck you.
Sarah Jane. But I think that baby does. Try not to mess it up.
Yeah, that's tough, man. Telling your dad, no, go on to your new family. Really gotta put that thing in a box. That works too, I guess. Jumanji, man, someone's gonna find that.
You wanted to impress your dad. I'd probably have done the same.
Do you miss your mum and dad?
I can't really remember them. I was a baby when they died.
Oh shit, that's right, I forgot about that. Aww. Alright, fuck last episode. This one's better. I know I said I liked last episode the most this series. Fuck that episode. This one's amazing. Fuck. God damn it. Ugh. That, was really fucking good. God damn. Really fucking good. Okay. Seriously, fuck last episode. I know I still like last episode, obviously, but it's like this was clearly a lot better than last episode. So I guess you could say it was kind of a sympathetic villain. Kind of, because, like, I don't know, I guess you can understand where his dad is coming from, but at the same time, it's like, what a son of a bitch. Like, damn. It's just, ooh. I don't know. Alright. Let's talk about this. The first thing I wrote down was the mark. Okay, interesting concept of, this thing that can take over, people. And that leading to a lot of conflict, with the kid that started possessing, or that started, commanding all the people. And then Ronnie started doing that with her dad before, she dropped it and, was like, okay, I can't do this. And then leading into Paul doing that. That's definitely interesting. And then the reveal that it's, the mark of the Berserker, which is the title of this episode. tying it into the Berserkers is definitely interesting. It took me a little while to figure out, like, why, like, the Berserkers, like, you know, so the more you use it, the more you become a Berserker. And, you know, that gives you power, basically. A Berserker is super strong and super, you know, they're just incredibly powerful. You know, they've done this on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with, I believe they've done this with the staff of the Berserker. So it's interesting to see that here. It's sort of, you know, cool. It's like, oh, well, I recognize that somewhat. You know, having it be a pendant and a mark that, you know, takes over a person, that's interesting. It did take me a while, though, to figure out, like, why exactly does this mark give you power over people? Like, what is the point in that? But I suppose it does make sense because, you know, at the end they were saying, the Berserker was saying, like, you know, I'm going to use him as my soldier and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, okay. So it's that it turns the user into a Berserker, and then the Berserker creates an army of just people that he can command. Like, okay, I guess I kind of get that, but without that connection, it's really strange that it's like, we have a Berserker and we have mind control, basically. It's like, why? It's an odd way to mix the two things, but it does work. The next thing I wrote down was Ronnie alone, which did not end up being the case, and really, what happened was the next part of this note, which is no Sarah Jane. This is kind of the first episode, pretty much the first episode, I would say, without a lot of Sarah Jane. Like, she was there at the beginning, we saw her in the hospital, and then she came in at the end, which was really cool. But yeah, it's an interesting concept to just kind of let our, not side characters, but our companions take over, which I guess also, that does make sense because, you know, we've had on Doctor Who the, you know, quote, Dr. Light episodes, like Love and Monster, where it's like, okay, the Doctor and Rose will show up at the end. The same thing sort of happened in Blink. And then in Series 4, I like what they did in Series 4, where we had a Companion Light episode with Midnight, and then we had a Doctor-only Light. A Doctor Light-only episode with Turn Left. So I like the way that they did that. Kind of seemed to be the same thing here, although Sarah Jane was there. You know, she was in that first scene, we saw her at the hospital, and then we saw her at the end. So, yeah, I guess it would still be about the same. It does equal out to sort of a Sarah Jane Light episode, which is definitely interesting. And the fact that this is, you know, the first time that they've done that, they've never done a Sarah Jane Light episode. So, yeah, that is interesting, and it's fun to see, like, you know, how would the rest of the crew, how would the companions figure out how to solve something without Sarah Jane? Now, to that, a bit of the downside of that is that Sarah Jane does still come in and save the day at the end, but for the most part, they are on their own, and they are trying to figure this out. So, I'd say it still works. It's a bit of a half and half, like, you know, it's half, yes, this is the companions, the companions trying to figure everything out, but it's also half, you know, Sarah Jane comes in at the end and saves the day. So, yeah, definitely interesting, and good to see, like, all of them really put to the test in this one. All of them really put to the test on, you know, saving the day by themselves without Sarah Jane. Although you could argue that Clyde didn't really have a lot of involvement in saving the day, at least until the end, and that was, you know, when Sarah Jane showed back up. So, yeah, interesting. I wrote down Clyde's dad, Paul Langer. So he leaves, which is interesting. Similar, I suppose, to Maria's story, although just not as bad. You know, with Maria, it was very recent that her parents had gotten a divorce, but they were still on, speaking terms. It wasn't horrible. Her mother didn't just leave out of the blue. They did. It was a divorce, and they claim they're still friends, which is interesting. But with this one, this time around, Clyde's dad left, just straight up left 5 years ago, and just shows up out of the blue. Seemingly for no reason, until the end, when it's revealed that his new wife is pregnant, and he got scared. He got scared that he would screw that one up too. So that's why he went back to his original family, to his original child, which is shitty. It's a very shitty thing, and that's the thing. It's like, I feel like they almost tried to make him sympathetic, and at the end you can start to see, it's like, okay, well, this guy is a victim of the Berserker mark. Yes, he's still a pretty bad guy though. To just walk out on his family, go start a new one, and then he walked out on that family pretty much. He basically walked out on that family. I guess his wife doesn't realize it yet, but he runs away to his other family. It's like, maybe I should go back to them. You fucking think? You asshole? It's like, that's the thing. So there's that. And then on top of that, he doesn't even go back to his old family. He just goes back to Clyde. He just goes back to his son. He doesn't go back to his old wife. He doesn't try again with his old wife. With his ex-wife, he doesn't try that. He just goes back to his son, and then once he realizes the power of the Berserker, he's like, oh, cool, I'm going to take everything and anything that I want, and I'm going to take my son away from his mother and change his mind, actually change his mind so that he forgets his family and friends, and I'm going to go around the world with him. It's like, what a douchebag. Like, this guy sucks. And it's like, so I'm kind of torn. It's like, were they trying to make him a bit sympathetic at the end with the fact that, he is he's a victim of the Berserker. That is definitely true. But is that, is that what they were going for? Were they trying to make him sympathetic? Because if they were, it didn't work. If they weren't trying to make him sympathetic, then it does work. Because he's not. He's an asshole. God, I hope I remember to put in the Back to the Future clip now that I've thought about it. But yeah, it's like, this guy was a jerk. He's still a jerk. And it's like, I don't know. Maybe they were trying, it might be interesting to hear your comments on this one, because it's like, I don't know, because it very much seems like they were portraying him as a bad guy throughout most of the show, throughout most of the episode, and then at the end, it's like they kind of tried to make him sympathetic, but I don't know if that was intentional, or if they were just trying to show him as the victim of the Berserker. So yeah, I don't know. It's definitely interesting, and it really interesting concept. Kind of almost like the episode basically revolved around Clyde, which is interesting. We haven't really gotten that yet, I don't think. For the episode to pretty much revolve around Clyde, and we got a lot of his backstory with his father and stuff like that. And there was a whole lot of drama through that with his dad, even before he got the power. So yeah, good stuff, but I'm curious about, like, maybe what you guys are going to say about the end. It's like, what were they trying to make him sympathetic? Should I know I don't feel sympathy for this guy, because this guy's a prick, which is probably the most tame thing I've said about this guy. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to hear what you guys say. The next thing I wrote down was Maria and Alan. They're back. Hey. So you guys said that the actress that played Maria, like, she left the show because she wanted to focus on her education, and that's fair enough. Sucks that, not only was she written out, but Alan was written out of the show, Chrissy was written out of the show, even though I don't like the character of Chrissy, it's like, well, it sucks that actress lost her job, basically. So, that kind of sucks, but they brought her back. They brought her back. So, that's cool. That's cool that they brought the two of them back. Like, maybe that's what we're going to go with. Like, these two aren't available all the time now, but they are at least available every once in a while to film a couple scenes for the episodes. I do like that idea. And, they already have this nice set for their house in DC, which is interesting. So, yeah, I do kind of like that. That it's like, yes, they're not main characters anymore, but now they are, it's like, well, we can still bring them in, and the actors are still willing to come in every once in a while and be in a scene. So I do like that. I really do like that. And it was clever, it was clever using them as a way of sort of learning about the Berserker and the mark of the Berserker and the pendant, because, they didn't have access to Mr. Smith because Sarah Jane shut him down while she was gone, which was interesting that she would do that. And yeah, that's really cool, bringing the two of them back in there. So it'd be interesting if we saw more of them, but you do have to come up with a reason to call them, and this was a good reason. So yeah, maybe we'll see them every once in a while. If so, that's fine. I like that. So yeah, and then kind of the last thing I wrote down was Sarah Jane versus the Berserker. Yeah, I made that joke. It's like, oh, Sarah Jane's gonna kick his ass, and it's like, okay. Obviously, I knew there wasn't gonna be like a fight between Sarah Jane and the Berserker. That would have been funny though. But it is interesting that Sarah Jane comes in at the last minute basically and saves the day, which you could argue that's happened before. In like Love and Monsters, when the doctor shows up and basically, figures out like, oh, well, why don't you guys just like pull? And like everyone's like, you're right, and they pull and they just blow this dude up and stuff like that. Or sort of in Blink, with the TARDIS, it was all the Doctor's plan to trick the Weeping Angels by having them all around the TARDIS, and then the TARDIS disappears. So yeah, it's like it's sort of the same thing here where Sarah Jane was gone through most of the episode, but then she came back, She came back and basically saved the day, and I like that she did figure out, well, I don't know, it's not even that she fully figured out, it's that she took charge with the solution of make Paul remember who he is. So that worked out. Maybe someone else could have thought of that, I guess, but I don't know. That was cool, and it's nice that Sarah Jane came in and basically saved the day. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, that's basically all I wrote. Great episode. Really, really love this one, even if, Paul is a jerk. Yeah, so yeah, really love this one. This one is pretty amazing. Yeah. It will be interesting to see if the next two episodes can top this, but so far, best episode of Series 2. I don't know if I would put this above whatever happened to Sarah Jane, but I think this comes in a close second for best episodes so far. So yeah. That's basically it. And with all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Sarah Jane Adventures reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell as I wipe my eye. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.